everybody. Once again, it's on. This is the 4th episode of Masters of Intellectual Thinking podcast, and I have the wonderful, great Dr. Mimi Money, media personality on 95.3 Jams, and she does a lot of great work in the community, giving back to the youth, just a plethora of great things or whatever. So Mimi Money, since this is Masters of Intellectual Thinking podcast, how has doing business and using your intellect, how has that expanded your career and all of your duties as a media personality and other things that you do in the state of Texas, rather in the great city of Houston, Texas?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question. So, as you kind of introduced me earlier, I am a media personality, amongst other forms of entertainment, but we could stick it to the media side right now.
Okay.
Media personality, and I'm also an advocate as well, too, a community advocate or a community liaison.
Okay.
Specifically for voting and things of that nature as well, too. Just advocating for, hey, I'm going to say this. Y'all got to register to vote, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter who you vote for. It's not my business. But as long as you understand your rights, as long as you understand why it's important, as long as you still have a voice why you can, vote, register, things of that nature. I don't really necessarily say, or advocate for what is, how can I say this, who to vote for. Right. I just want to make sure everything is right as far as the humanitarian side of it.
Absolutely.
Things are a little different now than it was back then. People don't want to hear about, the political answer, the politically correct answer.
Right.
People want to know your heart. People
Absolutely.
want to know what can you do and stand on.
Absolutely.
What can you do for us to help us?
Absolutely.
Because some of us don't have a voice, or some of us have a weaker vessel of a voice. So therefore, going back to what you're saying, circling everything around from media to community, just the great leadership of what we can do for now, moving forward for our future.
Absolutely. So speaking of politics right now, how do you think the world as a whole is in regards to Democrat, Republican, and who should people vote for based on, as far as, people of color, Caucasians, the brown, white, whomever? How do you think politics work as a whole to bring everybody together so we can all live in peace and harmony and love one another and grow with each other? How do you think voting has an impact on that?
Again, it's your voice. It's
Right.
your voice. It's that simple. There used to be a time frame where we couldn't vote.
Right.
We
Absolutely.
couldn't vote.
Right.
Or myself, a woman, we couldn't vote, or we didn't have much of a say so. Now that things are a little different, now that things have changed, it's not necessarily saying go vote for this person.
Right.
Do your research. Do your research in your local community.
Absolutely.
Do your research in the what am I trying to say? Do your research in the presidential election.
Absolutely.
People are a lot caught up and behind, this president, what that president didn't do, what they can do, what they won't do. They said, but at the end of the day, locally is just as important.
Right.
Because we have
Mayors,
people,
all that. Yep.
we have citizens and people that have not moved outside of their community in 50 plus years and don't plan on it either.
Right.
Do you really think the president of the United States is really caring about what's going on in your neighborhood? Do you really think that they know what's going on in your community? They don't.
Right. Absolutely.
I'm sorry, but just to break the truth, that's just really what it is. But I stand on for what's right. Do your research.
Right.
Do your research. Vote for who you need to vote for based on what your lifestyle is. Not necessarily based on, this is my Billy Joe. He's voting for him because he's Democrat or straight Republican, or whomever is voting for this person because they said vote for them because they're straight Democrat or Republican or whatever the case is. It's what do you believe?
Right. I got you. That's what's up. And thanks for tuning in too, by the start. I see you out there. So my second question for you, it coincides with media personality. Where do you think the state of music is right now? Whether it be R&B, rap, hip hop, where do you think the whole state of music is as a whole right now since you do that pretty much on a weekly basis with your show SOS with the great brother D Valentine and the great brother Shapeshifter. Shout out to Paul Piper, by the way. So what's your thought process as far as like the state of music right now as a whole?
I'll put it this way. Music has a message. No matter what kind of form we're in, no matter if it's 90s music, 80s music, 50s music, whatever kind of music or genre, or whatever the case is, it still has a message.
Right.
Now it's up to you how to convey that message in a good or bad way, in a negative or positive way.
Right.
It's up to you to convey, and it's up to your brand, however you put yourself out there, the image, what message are you trying to bring to the culture? What kind of message are you trying to bring to the people that are listening, your fans, your supporters?
Right.
I'm not going to get too much into saying, hey, this genre of music is better than this genre, because at the end of the day, it all revolves about one thing, and that's the message behind it.
I got you. So speaking of message, how do you think some messages affect our youth, in a good way or in a bad way? Because our youth, they listen to music on a regular basis in regards to social media, TikTok, radio. So how do you think the message should coincide for the youth per se? Because they're maybe 75% of the listeners today. So how do you think the messages help or hurt our youth?
I believe that one thing, as far as the TikTok you mentioned earlier, I think that actually unites the youth a little better, because of course they're dancing, they may not be listening to what the lyrics are exactly, but whatever dance is going on, they're on board with coming together and trying to do this dance better than that dance, or just kind of keeping the upkeep up on what's going on as far as them bridging that together.
I got you. Absolutely.
Again, now we do have a situation where the lyrics is the problem. The lyrics have always been the problem. No matter what generation it was or what type of genre of music it was, but now it's more explicit. It's more out there. There used to be a point in time where you could listen to the Clean Up Woman. Clean Up Woman.
I got you.
We didn't know what that was. I know I didn't.
Like until we got older.
Until we got older, and we're like, "Ooh, that's not good." But now we could listen to something similar to the Clean Up Woman, but it's telling you, "Hey, this is a side chick, and we gonna do what we do, and we gonna get those bags." And it's just being a lot more upfront and blunt about the message. And I think no matter how you slice it, goes back to what I was saying before. Music has to have music has to have a message behind it. And I believe it needs to be more positive besides the beat and the lyrics.
Absolutely. Supposed to have a concept, supposed to have substance to it. I agree wholeheartedly. So with you being in so many like multiple great things that you do for yourself, let's speak about the origin. Like what led you on this journey to get you to the part of this stage in your life? Because you do a lot of great things. And so what was the origin, like some of the morals and values that your parents or your grandparents or elders instilled in you to put you at this point in your life? Can you touch on that for a moment?
Well, for one, I'm what they call a PK kid. a preacher's kid.
Okay.
And I mean, instantly people hear about that and they're like, oh, PK kids, they're the worst ones, which is partially true. But then again, the Bible says, train up a child and he'll, how that goes.
Absolutely.
He should never depart, right?
Amen.
So no matter how much you run or try to run from what your journey is, or what the universe or God, however you want to slice it, whatever it has for you, you're going to remember those things that were installed in you when you were younger.
Absolutely.
I call it dancing in the devil's playground. I used to see, my friends, they're going to the mall and they're hanging out. They're going to these parties. And I want to do the same thing. How come I can't do the same thing? Because at that time, I had a title behind me as, a preacher's kid. But whenever I got older, I started, as they say, dancing in the devil's playground. I wanted to see what was going on outside.
Curious.
I was curious. I wanted to see what was going on outside. And needless to say, it just wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. That's not really what I thought my heart desired. Even now. But going back to what you were saying, just that upbringing, knowing, okay, well, I've had a little taste of this, and I've had a little experience of that, and now it's my decision to figure out where I want to be and what I want to do in my life. And my main thing is circles back around to just being an inspiration and being a positive helpmate to others in my community, or just people who I just meet in everyday life, you know.
Right. I got you. So was there like a time where you had to go to possibly like a trade school or like high school or anything, college or anything that, you know, added maybe like certain credentials or anything that like, wow, okay, I did this, so this step one, so did you always have like a success plan, or you just went forward and just listened to your parents, you know, going through, you know, like you said, a PK kid, so those values were always there. So what led you to be like, okay, this is my plan, this is what I'm gonna do from A to B to C? Like, did you like go to like any colleges or anything, or what?
I went to a few continuing education schools.
Okay.
And if I must say so myself,
okay.
nudge.
Right.
We have a history of being classmates at one point in time as well too. Yes, shout out to Gary Job Porter for making me all I can be.
Absolutely. Yep, Job Pro for sure.
But I did not necessarily have a plan at that time. I just knew, you know, my parents said, go to school, get your education, get you a nice career, get you a good job. And I wanted to go still go in those steps.
Right.
Now I did, you know, everybody doesn't get this opportunity, but I did get a chance to see other family members and or friends that didn't do the same thing. And it's like, hey, you pick A or B, the red pill or the blue pill.
Yep.
And for me, I just knew my future, and I did not want to get myself caught up in some type of stuff that I couldn't get myself out of.
Right.
My grandma used to say trouble is easy to get into, but hard to get out of.
Right.
And that is really true when it comes to your life. And again, certain things you may have to bump your head on or go through the fire just to understand the purpose behind it or the lesson behind it. But, you know, I don't regret bumping my head just a little bit. I didn't bust my head open.
Right.
I just bumped it. I just tapped it a little time.
Absolutely. Yep.
I just tapped it enough to say,
we all
ouch.
do. Yeah, we all do.
I don't want to do that again.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, just furthering my career and my education played a part in my lifestyle of where I am now.
I got you. So with all that being said, how can you pass down this valuable information that you've been through and, you know, things that you saw other people go through? How can you pass that down to your kids? That's if you have kids or any other young aspiring entrepreneur that's trying to make it in this world every day. So like what things can you pour into someone else that's trying to find their way?
I know this is a broad statement, but it's a true statement. When I say you could be anything you want to be, that's exactly what I mean. Anything you want to be.
Yeah.
Now, it does come with hard work and dedication. It's not easy because you're going to have to learn. You're going to have to grow. You're going to have to understand. You're going to have to blossom.
Yes, indeed.
But at the end of the day, it's all well worth it. It's the blessing is beautiful. Again, I don't take anything that I've done in my life. I don't take that for granted. I don't take that back. You know, I had to literally go through hell to get to where I am at right now. And that's life lessons because I mean, as they say, you know, you don't look like what you've been through.
You absolutely don't look like
you
look like you're in your late 20s, something going on 30 or something like. So that's great. So life didn't do you too bad then.
Didn't beat me up too bad. I told you I got some bruises. I got some scratches.
I can't see them. You know, that cocoa butter and that scar cream does very well because I don't see no bumps and bruises. But that's good though. You know, that's awesome.
It plays a part for everything.
Yeah.
However, it's still good to also balance that self-love.
Right.
Also balance that peace. Also try to find peace within yourself. Before you do anything for anyone else, you love yourself.
Absolutely.
And it's not being selfish. It's not saying, oh, well, well, what about this person? What about that person? Oh, I can't do. Self-love. You have to learn to love yourself before you love anybody else or others. Before you could tell somebody how to make the recipe. I mean, make a pie. You got another recipe.
Absolutely.
So that's how
yeah.
Off the dome.
Yeah, that's that H-Town freestyle.
Yeah, freestyle.
But just to piggyback off of that, self-love is best. Not saying that you're selfish, but if you don't love or take care of yourself, how can you take care of somebody else? You absolutely can't. That's amazing. So I just want to tell you that, as a black man, I see so much division within the black community in regards to the black man and the black woman. So I just want to say on Masters of Intellectual Thinking Podcast, I love you, great black woman.
Love you.
Keep doing your thing. We need more peace, love, and unity. For all races. But there is a divide between the black man and the black woman. It's sad to me.
It is.
So like I tell everybody, we got to come together and we got to show love and give love or whatever. And for all the great entrepreneurs, I see y'all doing your thing out here. So I salute it. You know what I'm saying? Keep pushing. I just want to close out by saying that Mimi Money is an extraordinary, great woman. She does her thing. She's just a plethora of great things that she does in the great city of Houston, Texas. So with this being Masters of Intellectual Thinking Podcast, I just want to close with this question. How has using your intellect broadened your horizons to do what you can do each and every day? And who do you do it for?
I do it for those who are willing to listen and learn.
Right.
I don't do it for anyone else. Whoever's willing, whoever has an ear to hear.
Right.
Again, like I said, I know my journey. I know why God has me here.
Right.
It's not just to say, hey, I'll make me money and that's it, and have all these titles or whatever behind my name, or just have all this popularity. It's deeper than that. It's what's within. And not only being able to speak it, but also having something to back it up. Does that make sense?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, because actions speak louder than words. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I greatly appreciate everybody that jumped on the live. Y'all can tune in every other Thursday on Masters of Intellectual Thinking Podcast. This was the great sister Mimi Money, and y'all be on the lookout for it. And before we go, where can people find you on social media? Just give them your social media and tell them where they can find you at, great sister.
All right, so y'all can follow me, see me, kind of be me, just kind of, on all social media platforms at Miss Mimi Money. That's MISSMEMEMONEY. Yes, like the money in your pocket. Yes, like the money in your bank. Yes, like the money in your wallet. Money, that's correct. Miss Mimi Money, y'all.
Already.
Thank you.
And do you have any shout-outs before you go? Any shout-outs you want to shout out anybody? Special anything? Shout
out to those who are actually on this or watching that support my boy right here, Mr. Can I call you your real name?
You call me my real name.
Mr. Chapman. I'm going to say that, Mr. Chapman.
Yeah, for sure. I like that better anyway. That's cool.
Mr. Chapman. And shout out to everybody who, who's able to tune in and listen. And those of y'all who are just great supporters. All my supporters as well, too. You know who you are. I'm not going to go down the list or whatever the case is. But and all those who want to know, hey, I see this young woman. I see she has something going on. Let me tell you something. I'm not too busy to help. I'm not too busy to inspire or mentor or whatever the case is. I'm not too busy. It might look like I'm busy, but sometimes you got to put yourself aside to help somebody or save somebody's life. So at the end of the day, that's just really what it is. Now, don't be getting in my DMs with, with that mess. Now I'm playing. But, at the end of the day, make sure it's solidified and legit. But at the end of the day, I appreciate everybody for your love and support.
All right, man. And this was the 4th episode of Masters of Intellectual Thinking Podcast. As a matter of fact, the first in-person interview. See, the first one in person, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. But this is what it is, man. Y'all have a wonderful, great evening, a great week. Put God first in everything, and we out.
Salute.